Behold a moment where earth and heaven meet. In the burial of the Count of Orgaz, Domenicos Theotokopoulos, better known as El Greco, conjures a vision both ceremonial and transcendent. Painted in Toledo around 1586-88 for the Church of Santo Tomé, it commemorates a miracle at the funeral of Don Gonzalo Ruiz, the Count of Orgaz. The scene divides into a solemn burial below and a radiant celestial court above, yet the entire composition breathes upward as one living prayer. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us keep creating more educational videos like this one. Start at the ground, where the miracle becomes touchable. Here, pallbearers lower the Count's pale, shrouded body into the tomb. The light glances off the crisp folds of the winding sheet and the calm geometry of hands, cuffs, and ruffs. El Greco anchors the drama with a still center, the body, so our eyes can feel the weight of death, even as the gestures around it begin to lift our attention to the world beyond. Look closely at the two magnificent figures guiding the Count. Tradition identifies them as Saints Stephen and Augustine, robed in shimmering liturgical gold. Their vestments don't simply shine, they seem to ripple like light-made cloth. El Greco's brush glides over brocade and satin to make sanctity tactile. These saints have descended, not as apparitions, but as palpable helpers, bridging the distance between human sorrow and divine consolation. To the left, the clergy form a black and gold river around the tomb. Cassocks, copes, and gleaming reliquaries rhythmically repeat, creating a procession that echoes through the picture. Every face is individualized, studied from life, yet composed with liturgical order. El Greco honors the rituals of the Church, those formal gestures that steady the living even as they commend the dead to God's eternal care. On the right, Toledo gathers to witness. Noblemen in somber blacks and rich browns, their white ruffs scalloped like halos of lace, crowd the edge of the grave. These are contemporary portraits, citizens, patrons, perhaps El Greco himself among them, folding the city's present into its sacred past. The miracle isn't locked in legend, it unfolds here in a very real community, where memory becomes identity. Now lift your gaze to the radiant upper register. Christ, enthroned in light, raises a blessing hand. Beside him the Virgin turns with quiet grace, a pool of deep blue calming the swirling clouds. The Holy Assembly elongates like flames drawn upward, their slender bodies and tapering faces a signature of El Greco's Mannerism, an elegant distortion that turns figures into pure prayer and motion. At the very center, an angel bears a small, luminous figure, the Count's soul, toward Christ and the Virgin. The angel parts a narrow, glowing passage, as if opening a veil between realms. El Greco paints this ascent with the tenderness of a birth, the soul delivered into eternity. The gesture ties the painting's two halves together, making the miracle not just credible, but inevitable. Between earth and heaven rises a slender architecture of bodies, vestments, and verticals. This middle band is the hinge of the composition, where earthly ceremony finds its echo in celestial order. El Greco choreographs diagonals and uprights, so our eyes climb naturally, hand to sleeve, sleeve to stole, stole to shining cloud, until looking up feels as necessary as breathing. Down at the right, a solemn child points upward, directing us to the miracle. Tradition tells us this is Jorge Manuel, El Greco's son, clutching a white handkerchief that bears the painter's signature, an artist's gentle cameo within a sacred pageant. His direct gaze reaches across centuries, inviting us to witness and remember, just as Toledo's citizens once did. In the upper left, angels drift like music. Notice the quick, translucent strokes, the cool silvers and pale blues that melt edges into vapor. Greek-born and shaped by Venetian color, El Greco fuses icon-like radiance with painterly bravura. Elongation, flickering highlights, and liquid contours make the sky feel weightless, an atmosphere where matter thins and spirit brightens. The burial of the Count of Orgaz is more than commemoration. It's a blueprint for hope. El Greco binds community, ceremony, and eternity into a single ascending vision, a Spanish Renaissance masterpiece whose Mannerist grace still stirs modern eyes. From Toledo's stone streets to the heights of heaven, the path is clear. honor, grief, and faith rise together. Thanks for watching.